What's the biggest factor in the room here as we talk about some of the clouds on the horizon?
I think the biggest issue in the near term is the challenges in China with the energy crunch. That's having a massive impact on the aluminium sector on the supply side. So you've almost got an artificial squeeze having been created. But we anticipate that the demand side of the equation will follow. So you're starting to see a ripple effect into the manufacturing sector. So we'll start to see actual demand hit in China. We also obviously have the situation with steel in terms of what you might call an over-exuberant steel sector. And the clampdowns there have obviously fed back through the supply chain in iron ore.
Julian, for as long as I can recall, China has been tapping on the accelerator and then on the brake at various points in time, depending on what suits it in terms of growth and what suits it in terms of pollution targets. Is this time any different? Is it just short term and the market will see its way through this in a couple of months?
I think this is just going to be an ongoing feature in China. You know, as you said, China puts the foot on the gas and then on the brake. This time around, I think it's different because China has set some quite aggressive targets, albeit long dated in terms of emissions. But I do think this is the start of the new reality in China.
That's interesting. Can you just unpack that for us then? What does that new reality look like, Julian?
Well, the new reality is that China has set its emissions targets. Those targets initially started off being long dated, 2060 net neutrality, and now what you're starting to see, as we've seen for the major Western economies, politicians bring in those targets. So we're now starting to talk about the early 2030s or even 2030, and obviously that has major implications in terms of decarbonisation. Also, let's not forget we are entering the so-called winter heating season in China, where you tend to get pollution levels rising. And as we've seen over the last decade, China has clamped down on emissions and also heavy consuming sectors in terms of energy to ensure that there isn't an energy supply crunch.
They've got that at the moment. For a centrally planned command and control economy, they seem to be panicking somewhat about their current level of supply of coal and gas and other energy sources. What's gone wrong?
I just think it's where politics reaches reality. If you think about the China-Australia spat around coal, I mean, there were rumours last week circulating that China had actually bought an Australian thermal coal cargo. We think that actually was a case of the Chinese actually just bringing Australian thermal coal out of stockpiles. So, the politics, unfortunately, have run roughshod over the need for some of those, the energy commodities, particularly thermal coal.